Hey, good afternoon. Gotta be honest, it's nice to be able to be walking outside, enjoying the sun. The days are getting longer, the weather's getting warmer, spring is coming, COVID is hopefully leaving, things are looking up. But naturally, as a Jew, and only removed from the worst genocide and atrocity in society by 80 years, that when you see the headlines yesterday, and you see that Iran had just developed a Scud, a missile that could reach Israel, deep into Israel, and that could reach American bases. And knowing that even if there would be an Iran nuclear deal, which would probably be a bad deal, that wouldn't even touch on any of these missiles, and Iran would have all the money they need and the trade they need to be able to develop more of these missiles and maybe warheads that could go on them. When you read Amnesty International, one of the most despicable organizations in the world, and you read their report accusing Israel of being an apartheid state, Israel, the one that has a government that can't survive without part of its government being Arabs and Muslims. There is no country in the world that will have a minority that many of them claim that we call them an apartheid, part of the government and supporting the government. And we think what's going to be, it makes us worry. But the miracle is that we're in the month of Adar. The month of Adar, it's a special month. It's the month of the Jewish people. The month of Adar, the rabbis tell us, Mishenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. When the month of Adar comes in, we increase in joy. And how much more so in a year like this year when we have 2 Adars, not one. We have a double Adar because it's a leap year. So we have 60 days of immense joy. And why is Adar so special for the Jewish people? So we of course know that when Haman wanted to destroy the Jewish people, he made a lot. He threw a lot to see which month to destroy the Jewish people in. And the month came to Adar. And the rabbis tell us that Haman was very excited, because he realized that Moses, the greatest leader of the Jewish people, died in the month of Adar. He said, this is a perfect month. When the biggest leader, the pinnacle of the Jewish people, died in this year and this month, it's perfect. But little did he know, says the Midrash, that the same day that Moses died is the day that Moses was born, which superseded that even. And later, of course, Adar became the greatest month of joy. The rabbis also tell us that the Jewish people are compared, their month is Adar. Why? Because the zodiac of fish, the zodiac of Adar is fish, and the Jewish people are compared to fish. The water is compared to Torah, and the Jewish people are compared to fish. It says the Midrash that Haman thought, that the fish, he's going to swallow the Jewish people in the month that Moses passed away. But little did he know that the fish that tries to swallow the fish has a bigger fish that will swallow it. God will annihilate Haman, and that's of course what happened. The month of Adar is made of 3 letters. Aleph, which means God, and Dar, which means lives amongst us. What's the point? What's the focal point of what the Jewish people have been doing for 3,000 plus years? We've been bringing God into this world. Aleph, we have made God to live, to be Dar, that he should live amongst us, that his presence should be felt in the world. And when a Jew remembers that we're in the month of Adar, he increases in joy. You know why? Because he knows unequivocally and for sure that even with all the naysayers and all the haters, and even with Iran building a missile, and even with Amnesty International spewing hate against the Jewish people, he remembers that Adar, that it's the month of joy. It's the month that we remember that God is with us, his presence protects us. And when someone tries to destroy us for centuries and continuing, God will protect us. So I want to finish just one thought. This year we get 60 days of Adar. In Judaism we have this idea of bato b'shishim. What happens if you have a big pot of chicken soup? In the big pot of chicken soup, a little bit of milk falls in by accident. So the law tells us that if 60 times as much chicken than the drop of milk that fell in, then it gets nullified. The soup overtakes it. And it's allowed. We don't do that intentionally, but if it happened, we're allowed to eat it. Says the Rebbe, The Rebbe taught us this in his last year in 5752, 1992, before he got sick. And when you have 60 days of joy, when you have 2 months of Adar, then the sadness gets batel b'shishim. Then the sadness, the darkness, the hardship gets nullified into good. May Hashem give us that we should remember that we're in the month of Adar. We should remember God's presence, that He lives with us and He's with us, and that will increase our joy and bring us 60 days of abundance of joy, which will nullify all the sadness, all the darkness, all the enemies, all the amnesties, all the Irans, all the people that hate us. And we'll remember the words that Mordechai heard when he met the first students after he heard of Haman's decree. Utzu eitz of the Sufar. They devise plots, and God nullifies it. Dabru dover, they speak words, and it doesn't come true. Ki manu kel, because God is with us. Am Yisrael Chai, God is with the Jewish people. Amnesty, Shmamnesty, Iran, all the haters. No one will stop the words of the prophet, Netzach Yisrael lo Yishaker, who tells us that the eternity of Israel, of the Jewish people, doesn't lie. It's forever. God bless you and have a good day.